Okay, this is going to be a short video on Iran. Now, Israel minister says we kill about 30-40 Palestinians. So if any of the Western people talk about HRBS, human rights bullshit, you say, okay, we can kill 30-40 people in Sri Lanka. Then you can't do anything about it. I mean, I'm just joking. Okay, I'm joking. So this human rights bullshit is it has no meaning anymore. As long as you kill less than 30 people per day, it's okay. That's why the West has endorsed indirectly. They don't say anything. That's what one of the Israel ministers said. Now, if you take Syria, Assad supported the Palestinians. And some of these Palestinian leaders, especially some of the Sunni leaders, were against, because he's not a Sunni, he's an Alawite, he's a minority. Right? With all the killings in things in Syria, minorities had better protection, not this. So if you take Assad was overthrown by Erdogan, Israel, and the Americans. And the Americans brought into power a former ISIS leader. So you have to understand what the Americans do, right? I mean, they use Sunni Muslims, some of the Sunni intellectuals and things, they use them against the Shia people, right? So what Iran has to do is, if there are any more bases in Southwest Asia, you have to detoxify these American bases. What the Iran should do is go for slow grind. You don't have to. You have done the hard lifting. Now it's a slow lifting, but you have to watch out for what Israel is going to do, right? So some of the Sunni leaders were with the Americans. Okay, now their double standards are coming to even some of the media leaders. They were against Assad because Assad supported Palestine. Right? Assad had a lot of force. And if you take sanctions, the Western sanctions have killed 38 million people in 50 years. So Western sanctions are like, that is what the Lancet journal says. I am not saying this, it is Lancet. So it is not genocide, it's close to genocide. Okay? Now America has no military options, so America are trying to use sanctions, right? But if you use sanctions, then the Western countries are supporting near genocide. You can't label it as a definition, it's not genocide. දැන් මේ සම්බාධක කියන්නේ කෝකටත් තයිල හෙන රාජ්‍ය තයිල. ඒ කියන්නේ ඇමරික බටහිර රටවල මුකුත් නැතිවම සම්බාධක දානවා. I am pretty sure Iranians are ready for it. Iranians are ready for sanctions, and Iran has to go slow now. And some people say Iran has to attack Europe. I think they shouldn't attack. They should concentrate more on the interest rates. And second stuff is, if there are any more bases left in Southeast Asia, then you have to detoxify the bases. If you keep the interest rates high, if you take the last 20-30 years, the Western countries have, even China has done quantitative easing. So even China might not like it. Keep the interest rates high, they might not. But if you look at present interest rates, Chinese interest rates are not high, others are high. Right? So Iran has to go slow. And some people say for Iran to attack Europe, that's stupid. You don't want to enlarge the scope of the war. We can defeat the West by detoxifying the bases and keeping the interest rates high. Now, in America, they were selling off bonds and long-term bonds. So what is the American Treasury is doing? Instead of 2 billion, they went for 4 billion. Okay, they increase the limits, but it is not quantitative easing. Quantitative easing means you create money using a computer thing, using electronically you create. So this is not supposed to be quantitative easing, but it is kind of not. I mean, it's not quantitative. So Iran has to go slow. Okay, you have done the heavy lifting, and try to keep the interest rate high. And okay, I talked about Assad. Assad had the junior Assad, not the father. Assad had a lot of force, but he worked for the Palestinians, and that is why some of the Sunni leaders, not political leaders, they criticize him, because that means these Sunni leaders went Qadeh for the Western system. They went Qadeh for hegemonyism, right? Then, so we have some thing in Syria where Erdogan wants to use some of the bases which used by the Russians, and Israel went and bombed them. That means, but if you take Turkey is part of the NATO. So actually, there could be some kind of conflict between Erdogan and Israel, but I believe that Donald Trump considers Erdogan as one of his friends. So I don't think there is a conflict. As long as Erdogan is there as leader of Turkey, then there will be no conflict. But if there is a different leader, it might be different. Because if you take Israel can't fight Erdogan, because Turkey has one of the largest armies in the world, and the Azerbaijan petroleum goes through Turkey. So if you take Erdogan, he makes a lot of noise, but I don't think he's attacked. And I think Donald Trump will make some kind of understanding so that there will be no conflict between these two. So Iran has to just watch and see what is happening. So you have to do two things. You have to keep the interest rate high, that's all. So keep the thing burning, slow burner. I would say it is slow burner. And sanctions කියන්නේ කෝකටත් තයිලේ, හෙනරාජ තයිලේ. And sanctions are in Syria. Americans stole petroleum and they stole agricultural products in Syria. They occupied part of Syria. So Americans did that, and Americans bought ISIS leader to Syrian leadership. Okay, so Americans use this mostly Sunni terrorists or militants or something for their purposes. They use it against the Shia, right? So Shia people might be having, a lot of fault, but they are not the people who promote terrorism. Terrorism is promoted mostly by the Sunni countries and Sunni leaders, right? There is also, if you take the Sunni leaders, Sunni general public, they are against the Sunni leaders in their country. So as long as you destroy the petrodollar, then the West will not dominate anymore. America will not dominate. The West is, Europe has certain problem, because they are saying that keeping the Russians out, Germans down, and the Americans in. That is exactly what is happening in Europe. So European countries have fallen into American trap. So there is only very simple thing. That Iran has to face sanctions. කෝකටත් තයිල හෙන රාජ්‍ය තයිලයට මුණ දෙන්න, and they have to detoxify all most of the hegemonistic camps in the region.